consistently evaluating its enrollment criteria to ensure that the criteria does not violate our Ohio General Assembly and is essential for participation test as established by the United States Department of Education. For Auburn, the only enrollment criteria remains the same. A student, 1, must meet the minimum course prerequisite, and 2, must be a resident of a member school district. Some programs continue to reach maximum class size. To ensure that a process is in place to select students from the pool of students who already meet the enrollment criteria, while at the same time ensuring that students from each district have an equal opportunity to participate in each program, a random process has been implemented. This random process will ensure that students are not denied access into any program based upon subjective enrollment criteria. When a program reaches its maximum class size, all students have the same chance of getting into the program as any other student. And then I also want to clarify that also there was some belief that a letter that we received that was dated December 10th that was in reaction to a civil rights audit that Painesville City School had. Painesville City Schools, and you should ask them directly when they have when those audits take place. But we received that letter as a piece of information on December 10th. This process and that evaluation that we take in our classes happens all the time, and in this particular started last school year. So they aren't related, although the topic is the same. It is unrelated to any decision that we made about any change. So as far as rights to attend the Auburn Career Center. So think about public schools. So public school, the right that you have to attend public school is the fact that you live in that school district. Your child or a child has the right to attend a public school in their school district. For the Auburn Career Center, if you live within our district, which happens to be 10 school districts, you have the right to attend the Auburn Career Center. With one other piece, you have to be on track to graduate. You don't, you're not going to have students that are several grades below the levels and so on. That's it. If there is determined that there is any other criteria that's in place, it has to be essential. Essential means that it's a must-have. It has to be in place in order to participate. Not to be successful, not to pass, to participate. And when we start thinking about then quality, because I've heard people say that the standards or the quality drops. Well, let's think about that for a second. I don't know, I've been here going on 5 years as superintendent. If I hear it one time, I've heard it 1,000 times. How awesome Auburn is. What a great experience my child had, my grandson, my cousin, my neighbor. Remember, 17 of the 23 classes, 17 of the 23 don't get filled on a typical year. That's most of the kids that have gone through here. They've had an awesome experience. Successful, doing very well in their career field. And we also have some statistics that we also consider. We have a post-program attainment, which is how many students go into the military, go to work, or go to college. And it's been 99% for as far back as I can recall, and I checked with Jeff, and he's been here a lot longer than I have, and that number's been the same. So what's happened? We've done a really good job with the students that come to school here. So let's not lose track of that. And let's talk about that kid who always gets in. That kid in those 17 classes. Let's talk about that kid. Who is he? Who is she? 2.0, 2.5, depending on where you go to school, what classes you take. Maybe a good speaker, maybe not. Maybe a little unsure of themselves. Attendance, so-so. That kid comes to Auburn and they knock it out of the park. We do really well educating the students that come here, every single one. So now, you have the other student, the 4.0, perfect attendance, great public speaker, that student. We have those students. And now, for years, there wasn't a decision to make. There really isn't a decision to make. But now, we have what I would say, it's a nice problem that people want to come here. It's not a good problem when we have to say no to something. So which student do we pick? which one gets chosen? The one that you know, the one that I know, the 4.0, my kid, your kid? No, we don't do that. We don't pick in public school. We don't choose. Students get a right to come here, so it's random. It's random. It's the only fair way. So we're not going to make those decisions. And, you know, past accomplishments, essays, grade point averages, are those important? Absolutely. It's very, very important to be successful in life. But we teach them here. It's not a prerequisite to come to Auburn. You'll learn how to interview in here. Our kids do really well. I just said they do really well. They get jobs and they go to college, but it's not essential to participate. What's changed? What's changed? You know, we review our process all the time. But we've also added College Credit Plus. We've also added more technology. Students earning credentials. We're always looking to meet the needs of the in-demand jobs. But we always want to do what's in the best interest of all kids. What's the most fair way to do that? Is random. Is it perfect? No. Could we modify or get better as we learn something better? Yes. But it's always better than hand-picking kids. And so, you know, as you know, as we have talked about this in the enrollment committee, and we talk about it all the time, we've worked really, really hard to get to a place that we have a lot of students that want to come here. But the minute we get there, we have another problem. And that is we're saying to some students they can't get in. And so, you know, that certainly is a dilemma for us. But it's also a challenge. I mean, nobody wants to say no, but we need to embrace that moment and say, you know what? What we should be talking about is how do we grow and how do we expand? How do we do what's right for our community? How do we do what's right for our students and give them the opportunities that they need? Nobody wants to say no to a student that wants an education. And so that's why earlier I said I think it's time for the finance committee and our facility committee to get together and meet and start having, you know, revisit that conversation you had several years ago and start talking about what's next in the life of Auburn Career Center. Because clearly the work's getting done, but we need to continue to grow and expand. And so that's all I have to share. Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
All right. And at this time, we're going to move into public participation. It's governed by one of the policies that we have, which is 169.1. We have limits on it. I'm not a big fan of limits, but I don't want to have people going 30 minutes. I trust that everybody will spend their time.
You should turn that down a little bit.
No, it's better if you're in the center, I guess, the middle part here. My name is Jennifer Peeler. I'm at 3021 Perry Park Road, and I'm here to address the lottery issue of enrollment. I've spoken here before about the cosmetology. We filled the room. I found out about it again today. Had I been a little bit more prepared, I would have filled the room a little bit bigger. I ask you as a board, this lottery, there's not a lottery for college, there's not a lottery for employment, there's not a lottery for board members, there's not a lottery for teachers, there's not a lottery for a lot of positions. Why do you want to adapt this into a school that has been based on creating the best of the best? I understand you want to be fair. I want to be fair. You want to be fair. But all those prerequisites in being fair, you also have to look for the best in these colleagues. Choosing kids just because you want to be fair isn't how the world works. Do we want to lower the bar or just get rid of it? Do we want to create more problems in the school than what you already have by accepting just anybody? I mean, in these last 2 years, I feel more for teachers than I've ever felt in my life, let alone board members, the animosity that could be built up against each other. The idea is to work together. I'm not saying that lottery isn't fair, but I think the prerequisites, not everybody wins. Not in a race, not in a swim meet, not in a poll vote. Kids gotta want it. You gotta have some skin in the game. I employ over 85 people, and there's people I have to let go. Once I see they don't got skin in the game, they gotta go. How are you gonna get rid of the kids who don't have the skin in the game? Are you gonna have another lottery? Is that how this is gonna work once they get here? Or what if they're physically or mentally challenged where they can't adapt to what they've been put into? Do we have another lottery? We really have to think about the choice that's being based here for Auburn and for our public, because once they go out to work, it's not a lottery. We're employers, we're people here, and we want the best of the best, and we only want the best of the best for you because then it continues. Auburn's the best. This is where you get a good job. This is where you get good training, whether you're in cosmetology, Lincoln Electric, dental hygienist. I saw what happened when we had over-enrollment in cosmetology. We just simply got rid of a class. That's not fair. That's not what you're here for. You're here to spearhead, to drive, to make it better. And by creating lottery, you're just simply either lowering the bar or getting rid of it. I'm not quite sure, gentlemen. All I can ask is you reevaluate what you've done or what you're deciding to do, and make it what's best for not only the school, but as those kids go out and graduate and become part of our citizenship, who are going to be the leaders. It's not a lottery when you run for mayor. It's a choice. It's who gets the choice, and the people have the say. It's a vote. So by making this decision, I am not an opponent of it. I think you really need to reevaluate our thinking. And this is a diamond in the rough. Auburn has always been a diamond in the rough. But it can be better. We want to strive to be better. Not to lower or get rid of the bar. To be better. And by having a lottery, I don't think you're making the best choice. I think we're saying, okay, everybody can come together, and if we got 10 people from this school, that school, that school, I think there has to be some bars. I think you have to have good attendance. I'm not saying you have to be an A student, but let me tell you, I have graduates who can't even add. If they don't have their phone to say what's 20 mils and 60 mils together, that's not cool. So all I can ask is that you raise the bar, don't lower it.
Thank you very much. Justine. The address is 328 Parkway. Oh, come on in.
Hi,
And just state your name and where you live and your point of business.
Justine Bagna. I live on 328 Parkway Boulevard in Madison. I'm here for also the lottery as well. So my name is Justine Bagna. I'm 23 years old. I'm a 2017 Auburn graduate of the cosmetology program. I got accepted into Auburn. It was the best day of my life. I was told in 8th grade, like, if I wanted to be at Auburn, you had to like be the best. So therefore, I failed 8th grade math. So for my 9th grade year, I doubled up and took 2 classes so I could be here. My backup plan was to go to Lakeland if I didn't get into Auburn, so I was going to go be a PA. Thankfully, I got in here because I don't think I could survive like 5 years of college or whatever it is. I think Auburn is to separate students into being the best and who wants to be here. I was in the cosmetology program where a lot of girls got pregnant and dropped out. The year after I was here, you had an interview by Ms. Holland and Justine Malvicino to be in the program because obviously some of those kids didn't want to be there. When you're randomly selected, I feel like the ones that don't want to be here will weed themselves out. Unfortunately, Auburn is only a 2-year program, so if you're weeded out senior year, you already lost the opportunity for another kid junior year. And like my class, once when half the class is gone, other students get unmotivated. I am one of maybe 3 kids that graduated and still do hair from my class. I've been at Jennifer Company for 5 years this October. Like I said, I bought a house this June. I drove a brand new car since I graduated. And no one did that for me. No one gave me a down payment. No one gave me a credit score. I did that. If you want more students similar to me, I'd really recommend not doing that. Thank you.
Thank you.